Helton. I'm the equal rights advocate for the Tri-State Freethinkers. Today we're going to talk about sex education in public schools. But it's not as bad as you think. It's much, much worse. Today I'm going to share with you some samples of the abstinence-only curriculum that is being taught in our public schools. Then I will go over the actual facts about abstinence-only programs versus comprehensive sex education. In the end, I will share with you an action plan to remove sex education, well, abstinence-only sex education, and replace it with a comprehensive program. Our schools are teaching abstinence-only sex education and claiming it's 100% effective. This is being pushed by churches whose entire religion is founded on the idea that a virgin, my age, got pregnant. Why are we basing our sex education on superstition instead of medical science? Seriously, can someone tell me why? Let us look at what's actually being taught. A shame-based curriculum that is degrading to girls. How to become a secondary virgin. They flat out lie about condoms and contraceptives and just say no. Just say no didn't work for the failed war on drugs, and it doesn't work for sex education either. Here's a quiz from one of my books. What are the emotional effects of someone having sex? My crazy parents taught me things like passion, love, excitement, and fun. But that's not what is being taught. Everything they associate sex with is negative, such as guilt, disappointment, depression, sadness, worry, loneliness, and loss of self-esteem. Now, both of my parents told me disappointment is real and a thing. But the rest is awful and horrible. Here's another lovely example from my belief-based, not evidence-based book. Alicia says, abstinence is important to me. Sex is like pre-chewed chewing gum. Is that what you want to present to your husband? If that wasn't bad enough, then we have to write out an answer for what does Alicia mean by pre-chewed chewing gum.
Elizabeth Smart. She is the kidnapping and rape survivor who was held for 9 months. She recently drew attention for her remarks about abstinence-only sex education. Elizabeth Smart, abducted from her bedroom in Salt Lake City, Utah at knife point in 2002 when she was 14, later said she was raped daily, forced into polygamous marriage during what she described as 9 months of hell before she was finally found. Here's part of what she said at Johns Hopkins University last week. Listen carefully.
I remember in school one time, I had a teacher who was talking about abstinence. And she said, imagine you're a stick of gum. And when you engage in sex, that's like getting chewed. And then if you do that lots of times, you're going to become an old piece of gum. And who's going to want you after that? Well, that's terrible, but nobody should ever say that. But for me, I thought, oh my gosh, I'm that chewed up piece of gum. Nobody re-chews a piece of gum. You throw it away. And that's how easily it is to feel like you no longer have worth. You no longer have value. Why would it even be worth screaming out? Why would it even make a difference if you are rescued? Your life still has no value.
That's Elizabeth Smart, the kidnapping and rape victim who was found after 9 months on the street in Utah. Jacqueline Friedman, your final response as you weave this all together.
I think she's spot on. We have to start treating women as having equal humanity to men. And until we do that, we have to heal the sexual culture, we have to heal our ideas of masculinity, we have to build new justice structures and strengthen the ones we have. It really is going to take an effort by the entire culture.
What is being taught about condoms and contraceptives? The myth: condom use will completely protect you from STIs and pregnancy. The facts: Condoms don't protect you from a broken heart. And condoms are made of rubber that can break or easily slip off. While it is true that contraceptives are not 100% effective, everything they say about them is negative. They even claim that condoms have up to a 36% failure rate. What does my book have to say about marriage? Every example is a man and a woman. The content is not gender neutral and does not include any mention of the LGBT community. What are the top 8 ways to prevent STDs in pregnancy? Abstinence only until marriage. Get lots of rest. And stay in large groups. None of the top 8 ways mention condoms or any form of birth control. This was taken from a different book claiming to be a comprehensive health program. These types of books are used to replace the church-based programs. While they aren't shame-based, they are still lying to us about ways to prevent pregnancy and STDs. This is seriously what they're teaching us. Now, do abstinence only until marriage programs work?
No!
Yes! Only about 2% of the time. And for those of you who aren't so good at math, we're teaching a program that has a 98% failure rate. Studies have shown that 80% of the abstinence-only programs are lying to students. How is this an acceptable educational practice to lie to us and mislead us about reproductive health? Why do people think that educating us is harmful? Let us take a moment to look at Ohio state law. Ohio is one of the only 2 states that does not have health education standards. Each district decides their own program, which makes it extremely difficult to track. Ohio spends more money on abstinence-only programs than almost every state in the country, yet it's ranked 28th in teen pregnancy. Kentucky is even worse than Ohio. Kentucky is actually in the top 10 for teen pregnancy. A bill was proposed in 2010 that stated sex education must be medically and scientifically accurate. And you know what? It failed. Due to our success implementing comprehensive sex education, a bill has been proposed that abstinence only until marriage was a requirement for sex education. So, what is the solution? We need free and easily accessible contraceptives. We need comprehensive sex education. Colorado has implemented free birth control and sex education for teens, and results speak for themselves. A reduction in teen pregnancy and abortion rates by over 40%. The facts are, abstinence-only programs are harmful to students, and we can no longer sit back and allow a Christian right to dictate and lie to students about sex. The medical and scientific community overwhelmingly supports comprehensive sex education, and so do parents. Just look at this list. The American Academy of Pediatrics, American Medical Association, the American Psychological Association, the American Public Health Association, and so many more. So how do we get our schools to teach comprehensive sex education? The first thing you must do is contact your local school district and find out what is actually being taught. And after contacting your school district, you need to look for some red flags, such as, is it abstinence only? Does it portray condoms and contraceptives negatively? Is it shame-based? Is it gender neutral? And most importantly, what demonstrations do they do? When fighting abstinence only, it is important to relieve religion out of the arguments and keep it to science. Studies have shown that the success rates are much more higher when you take this approach. You can organize and provide resources to parents and student groups. Show up to your school board meetings, stick to your talking points, and don't take no for an answer. Equality starts at the school level. Not educating students about LGBT issues, consent, science, and reproductive health has repercussions for decades to come. American atheists have developed a sex education toolkit with a practical step-by-step approach on how to help remove abstinence-only programs and replace it with comprehensive ones. If you have any questions, contact my dad over there. But before I go, I have one last thought I'd like to share with some fellow students. We are not powerless. If adults are going to try and implement policies that are harmful to us, we must speak out. We have the power to hold them accountable. We have the power of our voice, the power to protest, the power to mobilize, and most importantly, we have the power to make change.
Yes, I understand that my whole life is just a blink of an eye. The history of the earth is with each moment that goes by. But this moment that I'm with you, it feels like time has stood still. It feels somehow like it matters, and that it always will. Thank you so much.